Um, so I'm not so sure where to start when it comes to this wound of sorts I'm feeling. I guess I'll start maybe with the physical a bit. So
Okay.
how it's been flaring up a lot as of late is I'm feeling really exhausted. I have issues with like adrenal fatigue and burnout from the past. And
Mhm.
usually most times I'm healed to a point where most times it's okay, but if I push a little bit too much, then it's like boom, you're out. Or when I sleep, I'm able to go to sleep, but when I wake up maybe like at 4 and it's just like trauma kind of spinning, a lot of mind stuff, or my dreams are filled with just fearful dreams like, oh, I'm being rejected or someone's stalking me or whatever it is. I will say, so I'm an Ifa initiate, and I also have learned a bit of like some energy healing. And often I would say in whatever modality I'm working in, often it comes up that I have an entity attachment of sorts,
Mhm.
like an ancestor stuck on me. And sometimes he talks to me even. And I think also I find that like when I do my spiritual work, things are peaceful and fine. And even like in the past few weeks, if I like really slow down and do my stuff, like things are peaceful, maybe like for a night or two. But I just started grad school and just like there's a lot of pieces moving and I'm having less capacity to do that much work. So the thing gets flared up, and then here I am tired or like wired tired, feeling like I'm moving too much. And I often feel it in my back, kind of a little bit below my like heart chakra, above my solar plexus, closer to my solar plexus on my right side. It kind of sometimes clenches like that on my back, like muscularly. And that area is sometimes fearful of spirit. So sometimes I find I need to take a break from my spiritual work because there's just like fear around spirit or source. And sometimes it's also where self-sabotage comes from. So there's a lot happening there. And I'm like, wow, how do I manage it right now? And even like there's a way in which I acknowledge sometimes managing a thing is not healing it, right? So how do I work with it given my capacity in this moment? Um, yeah.
Okay. Tell me your full name 3 times, please.
Oh, yes. I'll start with my Ifa name and my mother's given name. But Odu Oshere Igbo Yene Ferrari. Odu Oshere Igbo Yene Ferrari. Odu Oshere Igbo Yene Ferrari.
Mhm. Can you tell me your okay, so you gave me your Ifa name. Can you give me your birth name?
Yene Ferrari.
Yennefer. Can you just say that for me 3 times?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yene Ferrari.
Mhm.
Or Yene Maria Ferrari. Yene Maria Ferrari. Yene Maria Ferrari.
Thank you. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna have to take a few notes. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so this may be a little different than what you may have been aware of before, but this is going to really help you. So, the first thing I want to say, because this is going to tie in to what your overall your message is for today. But there wasn't. So when you gave me your Ifa name, I couldn't connect in with the energy of that yet, because and this is going to again tie in later, because your energy is not really there yet. And so this is the thing about the exhaustion piece, because exhaustion kept coming up a lot when I tuned into your energy. And it's all tied together. So where do you want to start? So you have a history of exhaustion. And this exhaustion, I'm not talking about like the exhaustion is the body tired is exhausted because the energy is tired. Mm-hmm. And the energy is tired for you because there are 3 types of exhaustion. I'm not going to go in depth around this, the different 3 types. I'm just going to speak to the one for you. But if you want to look at that, I have a video on YouTube called The 3 Types of Exhaustion. But for you specifically, the exhaustion is coming in because you are taking on other people's ways of being, and you have not grounded into what your way that actually feeds you. And what I mean by that is you haven't found, you're taking other people's models on for what your life should look like, what your practice should look like, what you should be doing to even around money and all of this. You're taking on so much of other people's things, and they're not the things that actually feed you, and it's heavy. You have way too much on your plate, way too much. And this other part as well that I see in your pattern is that even if this is your plate, and when we think of that plate is too heavy, we often think that there's a lot of stuff on here that we don't need to have on the plate sometimes. You do have some of that, but you also have a pattern of, this could all be strawberries. And it could be things that you love, but you're not moving at the pace that is right for you. You don't need to have 17 strawberries right now. You need to have 3. Right? And so there's this aspect of taking too much on, of overexerting yourself, and also not doing things in the way that most fuel you. These are the 3 main patterns of your life. And again, this is kind of a pattern for today's call. This is not your fault. This is also a pattern that you got. I'm particularly seeing this. Oh, wow. Yeah, that came in really strong. This is on mom's side.
Yeah.
That came in really strong. So this is mom's side, particularly mom.
Yeah.
So this is, that was immediately was there. So for you, this was what was a model for you, was exhaustion, overwhelm, overexertion. And so of course you grew into someone who this is how you are as well. But that's not you. Your natural energy does not move like that whatsoever. You move in your energy is at a much slower pace than what you're moving currently. Your natural energy is much less than what you're doing. And also, there's a permission slip that you need that you can do life the way you want to do it. And the way that I want to say this for you, because this is going to be your big thing, probably for the next 5 years of your life, this is the biggest thing. feel good over what looks good. Because a lot of what you're doing looks great. It looks great, but it doesn't feel great. And you know it doesn't feel great to you. And this is the shift for your movement now. This is the major healing for you, is I'm going to prioritize, and I'm only going to put on my plate what actually feels good to me. Not what makes sense, not what looks good, and it may make me this or get me this. Does this feel good? Does it feel free? Does it feel... So you feel exhausted. What feels leisureful? What feels restful? And what feels nourishing? Does this feel that way for me? Does this feel delicious? Do I feel at ease? Even for you to pay attention to the body. So when you are about to make a choice for something, for you specifically, I want you to pay attention to your shoulders. So when you are taking in a choice, are your shoulders fully relaxed when you're thinking about it? If there's any tension in your shoulders around this, it's a no for you specifically. For the back, right? This is another issue around this, and I'm going to get to the entity thing towards the end. But for the back, the part of it that, again, I said this may be different for you. The part of this for you is not so much what you mentioned before. The part of it for you is feeling unsupported. Mm. And this is, the back is the support system for you. Well, for all of us, our back is our support system. But for you, the back is how you support, how you stand up in the world, how you're held. And you've been feeling unheld. Mm-hmm. A part of that is you've not been feeling supported in what you're trying to do. Yeah. And this is not so much, you're going to have to shift your perspective around it. Not so much what other people are doing is going to have to be your perspective, because your perspective can heal the back. Okay. So your perspective, I want you to really almost jot down, keep a journal every day and look at where you are. So like just 3 ways, just this small thing will shift it. Every night before you go to bed, here are 3 ways in which I saw that I was supported today. It could be something super small, right? Because there have been areas of your life, and I'm not trying to get you to deny where you have not been supported, right? That's not what I'm talking about. But what's happening is you have a laser focus on that kind of, and because you're focused on the unsupport, it's getting bigger, and you're getting more and more unsupport, and now it's the body is getting in here, right? So you want to shift the focus and shift it to where here is where I am seeing support. Here is where I do feel I am held. And you'll start to see, if the more you focus on that, the more it's going to show up. But also, you got to increase the feeling of being held, because I'm seeing this is coming in for you as well. Your, you want more support in I'm seeing there's a yearning for more support. Got it. I want you to ask your guidance for help with this, but this is how you ask your guidance for help. Okay. So your guidance, whatever you call them, I don't care what spirit, whatever you call them, right? They are in the realm of energy. That's where they dwell. So their language is energy. And a lot of times we use words to try and communicate. And they need, because they are guides. So guides are like, people who guide you up a trail on the mountain, right? They know the way to get to this place because they've traveled it. And they just kind of guide you. They don't do it for you. They just kind of say, hey, kind of this way over here, and you walk this way, and yeah, go up there, da, 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 da. But in order to guide you, they need a bullseye. They need to know where you're trying to go. And you don't communicate that with words, you communicate it with energy. And so you send an energetic bullseye and say, hey, send me here. So with support, you have to send an energetic message to them and say, could you help me feel like this? Mm. So I want you to do for this week, I want you to do a visualization. 2 to 3 minutes is all you need a day. And I want you to visualize what it would be like to be completely supported in everything you do and completely held, and to where you don't feel so fucking stressed and you don't feel overwhelmed and you're not overexerting yourself and you feel at ease and you feel relaxed, which is a new vibration for you. So I want you to really work with this, because I want you to feel what this feels like in your body system, right? This is going to be very important when I get to this last piece, but I want you to feel that and see this held, relaxed version of yourself, the held and relaxed. And then when you get out of that visualization, tell your guidance, help me get here. Okay? Just for a week. And then watch what happens. Now, it's going to be, for you, I need you to understand this guidance is going to be asking you to make radical changes, because some of the things that you have been, the pattern that you have and that you got modeled and that was conditioned into you has disconnected you a lot from the part of you, which is love, which is ease and being held, right? So your ways of being, some of your ways of being are going to have to shift radically. So there's going to be some radical guidance. Not all of your guidance is going to be radical. Some of it's going to be very, very, right in the line. But some of it's going to be radical. But I just want you to, I'm saying this because I want you to follow it. I want you to follow it. The last piece here for you is with the entity. So with entity attachments, and I don't really get much into them because a lot of times we get fear around that. You really don't need it. If you think about entity attachments, you can almost think about it as parasite attachments, because what entity attachments they only happen when we're not fully in our system, when our soul's energy is not fully in our body. The piece of you that is not home is because you're exhausted.
Okay.
You're not fully your energy is not fully coming through your chakra system and landing into your body because you're stressed, right? And again, watch that video, because you'll be very clear and you'll know exactly what you need to do, even more than with this, with not even more than this, but with this, that will be perfect for you. You'll be like, got it. You bring ease back into your system and feeling held. These are the two things. My life, I deserve to be at ease. I deserve a leisurely life. I am worthy of that. I'm worthy of feeling at ease every day. And I am held. And you get those energies here, your energy is solidly in the body. And with energy attachments, you really don't have to do a lot of removal stuff. I mean, those can be helpful. They can be helpful. But the big thing is, once your energy is in the body, nothing else can be attached to it. Because it is at such a high frequency, only that. But when your energy, your soul's energy is not fully in the body, it lowers the frequency of the body, just like it lowers the immune system of the body. So if you think about physical parasites can only thrive in a system where the immune system is lowered a bit. Non-physical parasites can only thrive on the system where the energy is lowered a bit. And when your energy is raised, it literally just sloughs them off. So you can do some entity removals and have somebody do that, and that would be great, fine. But if you don't raise this energy, you're just going to get enough.
Right.
So you don't have to pay attention to that really much if you just stop being exhausted. And this is going to be the radical invitation of your life, because the version of you who is held and as well as who you came here to be. And it's going to be your life is going to feel so much more delicious than you ever knew it could, ever believed it was possible. When you move from the energy of ease and being held. If it's not at ease for me, I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't engage it. If I start to feel overexertion, that's not for me. If I feel, and my shoulders are going to be my guide here. Because if I'm thinking about doing something and I feel them at all like this, I'm going to take a breath and say, okay, what would make me feel more like this? Okay, this is not it. What is? Maybe it's not clear for me right now, but I'm not going to move until something makes me feel even more relaxed. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, ease and being held, these are your things. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. That really resonates in a lot of ways. And even as you're saying it, I feel ease entering my body. Like I feel like if I feel into the energy of what you're saying, it's like something in me relaxes. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for being vulnerable enough to be open, and may all of this help you in your restoration of your energy back to who you really are.
Thank you.
Much love.